Hey,
Hi.
so welcome to another rendition of Creating Legacy through Community Service. So I have today a good friend of mine called Tanya. We're going to get into it later with Tanya. But just as a reminder, this is being presented by the Caribbean Community Service Center, headquarters in the city of Detroit. And we hope that you stick and stay to hear our conversation. So I'm going to ask my guest today, Tanya, to tell us her name and her birthplace. Tell us who are your name now.
Okay. My name is LaTanya Edmondson-Powis. And I was born in Kingston, Jamaica.
Which part of Kingston?
Kiwanis Hospital, Tivoli.
Oh
Yes.
wow!
Yes.
Oh, very
Yes,
nice.
but I
We have
grew
bad girl from West. Okay, okay,
just for a
just checking,
second.
just checking.
Just for
Okay,
a second,
okay,
because
okay.
I grew up off the Boulevard, Washington Garden.
Very nice. So we do have a Kingstonian in the house with us.
Yes, yes.
Now
Uh-huh.
you're migrating from Kingston, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell us how you got to Metro Detroit and why you decided to stay.
Okay. So I got here, my mom. So my mom moved here about 2 years before me and my sister moved here.
Mhm.
She moved here. My uncle got sick, and she moved here to take care of my uncle. We traveled, like visited while
Mhm.
she was here, and then eventually we stayed.
So why Detroit? Why not Miami or
I,
New York City where everybody goes?
you,
After you got older, why did you decide to stay here?
you know what? Cause I like Michigan. I
What is it about Michigan you like?
It's not chaos. So I've been to different places. I've been to New York because my dad lived in New York when he migrated, and my aunt and my grandma they lived in New York. So we've been there a lot. We spent a lot of summers there, a lot of holidays there. It's just it's chaotic. It's the driving is too much. The traffic. It's just a lot of people. It's just not for me.
But you're from Kingston.
Yes, but I like Michigan. Like I like how I can only expect traffic if it's an accident or if it's rush hour. Like you going to
Mhm.
work in the morning, 8 o'clock, or coming home 5 o'clock.
Okay.
But
Okay.
as far as like the everyday traffic at noon and just the whole bunch of people and the jumping on a dollar van to get here that's just not for me.
That's New
Like,
York.
I even when I wasn't driving, we used to get on the bus, we used to
Mhm.
catch the bus. That was fine for me. I like Michigan. Yes, it gets cold. Yes, we go through some stuff that the other states don't go through, but I'm content. I'm content with Michigan.
And you plan to
I've
continue
been,
to raise your family here.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your family.
My family. So I have an amazing husband, very, very, very amazing husband, and I have two boys. One's gonna be 7 tomorrow, and I have a 1 year old. And yeah, they're my world. Everything that I do is for my family. I do everything to make sure that my boys get the opportunity to live a life that a better life than I was able to live growing up. Um, I didn't live a bad life. My mom and my dad worked very hard to make sure that my life wasn't stressful or
Mhm.
hard like
Mhm.
theirs. But we had some rough times too, and I don't want that for my boys. So
Okay.
everything that I do is to make sure that my boys have a good life, growing up, and they can be even though they're boys, I want them to be independent, and I don't want them to, you know, not be successful.
Okay.
But I also want them to have a choice,
That's a
growing up.
good thing.
Yeah.
It's a very good thing. Tell me about your extended family. Your mother and your father are still here in Michigan, or did they fly the coop and go somewhere warmer?
So my dad, my mom and my dad, I think they separated probably when my sister was about a couple months or 1 year old.
Mm-hmm.
My sister is 5 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, when my mom moved to the U.S., my dad was still in Jamaica. So me and my
Mm-hmm.
sister stayed back with my dad for about a year before we moved here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think about a year after that, my dad moved to New York
Okay.
with my grandma and my aunt. And About 6 months after I had my first son, he moved to Michigan.
Okay.
And yeah, he lived with us for a while, and he's still here. He's still in Michigan. He likes Michigan too.
That was gonna be my question.
He was in New York, and he used to travel here like for a week or so to visit and stuff. And eventually he decided, okay, it's a lot. Let me just move. I want to be closer to my kids. And he likes Michigan. He's like the up and down. It's not too much up and down, and and I remember like when he was in New York, we used to call him like, "Hey, Dad, what you doing?" "Oh, I'm on the road finding something to do." I'm like, "In New York," So now it's like all of us are together in one state, but we all have our separate lives.
Oh, very nice. Well, your mother brought the family here.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, everybody ended up here because of your mom, which is a good thing. Very good thing.
Right, yep.
So tell me a little bit about the Caribbean community here through your lens. Coming here as a young child, now here having your family, raising your family here. Tell me some of the interactions with you and the Caribbean community here.
So the Caribbean community here helped us as a family, not just me and my sister, but my mom, get through. They made our life easier, and I say that because growing up I was very sickly, but my mom had to work a lot, so she depended on the people in the community. They would leave work and sit at the hospital with me until she was able to get off work, or they would take us to school.
Are you comfortable sharing names or organizations? Or?
I'm fine sharing names. Okay. So some of those people are the Clark. So you have Bishop Clark and his wife. I call her Sister Clark, but I believe her name is Desiree Clark.
Right, for the Western American Association.
Yep.
Got it.
You have their daughter, Nicole. She played a huge, we call ourselves sisters because she's, I look up to her, a lot of things that I went through in life, I was able to go to her, and she helped me process it, when
very nice.
Even when my mom was at work, I would talk to my mom about it, but from her perspective, she would give, different advice and different recommendations on how I should go. You have Simone. I call her Sister Simone, but Simone, I think now is Tate. Okay. She played a huge role in our life, and a couple other people.
So you touched a little bit on the Western American Association, and I know that because of the names that you called. Give me a little bit of the cultural or social vibe that this particular organization offered to you is now in a welcoming space as a Caribbean child.
So with this organization, it didn't only offer like help to make our life easier and help my mom out to make our transition easier, but it also was like a safe space for us, me and my sister. They had like different events like the pageant, and they've awarded scholarships to us for school, and they had like the Christmas events that we were able to look forward to, and these are the little things that we look forward to to on a yearly basis. We knew that it was coming up. It was something that we was excited to be a part of. It wasn't just like they're there. They were like a safe space for us. It was something we could look forward to, an outlet for us.
So does that still play a role today now that you have boys of your own? Is it something that you would get them involved in, or you get involved in the organization to make sure there's legacy created so your children can have the same kind of experience that you did?
Absolutely. It's something that I do want my kids to be a part of. Currently I'm not sure, like I feel like it was more geared towards us as females. So I would like to see where it's geared some more towards boys, so it can be, maybe they have girl events and then boy events, or something where we can combine them both. But I do think it would be something good to bring my boys up in and introduce them to, and allow them to look forward to something like that, like we look forward to growing up, you know.
So
and having
would you
those
take the
people.
lead on creating a program like that?
I wouldn't mind.
Okay,
I
all right,
wouldn't
good.
mind.
All right,
Yeah.
we're creating legacy. What?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Okay. So we're gonna step back a little bit.
Okay.
I know you in a different sphere, right? I know you as an entrepreneur, big time businesswoman.
Oh, big time.
So, big time businesswoman. So I want you to tell us the name of your business, the type of services you provide, and why you decided to become a businesswoman versus working like a lot of us do, working for somebody else.
Okay. Yeah, so my business is called Lavish Event Designs by Tanya. And I provide event planning and decor services for any event, baby showers, weddings, bridal showers, graduation parties, engagement parties, you name it.
No divorce party, the divorce party.
Of course.
Okay, I'm
Yes,
sorry you didn't add that on there. I was just checking.
You name it.
Okay,
Any one of them.
okay,
I do them
all
all. And so I started. I've always been very creative. I like to, do DIY projects and, create little things on my own.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a friend that I used to help her with her events, and she decided that she would teach me a few things while I help, so that I can be a help to her. And I took it and I ran with it.
Nice.
I took it and I ran with it. After I did ask her permission if it was something that she was okay with me, starting my own business. And shout out to Jackie. And she kind of walked me through how to do everything, because I found out that I was really good at it.
Okay.
And so I had another friend, Sharika, that she was having a engagement party, and she was like, I'm gonna take a chance on you.
Nice.
And she took that chance, and ever since that I started to post that event, I noticed that people on Facebook and Instagram and people that I don't know was interested, and I'm like, okay, this is getting serious. Now it's time for me to actually turn this into a business. So then I started, getting my LLC and doing my insurance stuff, and actually making my hobby into a business.
Very nice.
And
So excited she is. We can finish talking
You're
about
comfortable now. Yes, I love it. I can see the
it's
comfort.
my baby,
Yeah.
But a little bit about Lavish. So even though it started as a hobby, and I turned it into a business, what a lot of people, what a lot of my client would say to me is they can see that it's something that I'm passionate about. A lot of people go into business for the money, but for me, it's my passion. And yes, I get the added plus for me is that I can use my passion to make some money, but it's my baby. Lavish is my baby. Like it was me and Lavish when I was going through nursing school and I couldn't work full-time hours. I would just do some events to help, pay the bills. And now that I have a little one, and I can't really, going to work full-time is not really in my schedule, I can do that, to help. And then my husband doesn't have to feel the stress, even though he don't mind, the stress of covering everything on his own. Yeah, so
we're going back up a little bit. You're pushing one like a nursing thing in there.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so
because they said Jamaicans have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jobs.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd up on number 2 for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So so I graduated nursing school, and I worked a little bit as a nephrology nurse. I tried out different areas in nursing. Oncology, bedside nursing is not for me. And I did a little bit of cardiac, and a little bit of delivery. Help me.
Oh, labor and delivery.
Labor and delivery. Did not like it, but nephrology stuck with me because I was able to relate to my patients with
Very
nephrology,
nice.
and so I did that for a little bit. I was doing it before I became a nurse. I started out as a dialysis tech, and I was doing that before I got into nursing school. So I was doing it while I was doing my prereqs, and got into nursing school and ended up right back in nephrology and dialysis. So yeah, I did that for a little bit, and then COVID came,
Mhm.
and I just kept getting sick.
Oh wow.
And I was bringing it home to
Mhm.
my son. He was what 3 or 4 at the time, and it just became unsafe. And the last time I got really sick, I, kind of stopped. Even though I worked through COVID, I kind of stopped while it was, clearing up and everything. And then after I recovered from that, I found out I was pregnant with the other little one. And I just haven't been back since. Of course, I'll go back when the time is right, but right now, it's just not what I'm
It's
doing
okay.
right now.
It's okay. And
But-
when I tell you she the boss, the boss decor designer, she shows up on time, always prepared, does great preparation even before she comes on site with her design, make sure you approve it and all that. Man, I tell you, I love working with you. You do amazing, amazing work.
Thank you. And I try. That's the number one thing I try to do. Like my client, I had a client this weekend, and she was like, her event was on Sunday, and she was like, "You had an event on Saturday too?" I'm like, "Yes." She was like, "And how did you find the time to answer my 8 million questions and send me all these?" I'm like, "Because that's what I do. That's why you hired me. You know, I can't, because I have another event. I spend half the time with this client and half the time I just have to find the time for both of you. You know, and if I have 13 events, I have to stretch myself to all 13 of you, because
And then you can hire me.
yeah, that's
Now I'm
right.
gonna work well for people, but I will assist.
Yeah, that's, and I have, and if I have to rely on others, that's what I do. I
Good.
have a team. It's me and my husband and my sister and Corey and Trinise. I have everybody will chip in to help. So
See, talk
takes a
about
village,
creating
yeah.
your own legacy.
Yeah.
That's talking about creating your own legacy.
Yes. So my fond memory, growing up in the Caribbean community, and we look forward to it every single year. Is the Caribbean picnic.
Okay.
We loved going to the Caribbean picnic, because not only were we able to, go out and, enjoy each other's company and fellowship with each other, but it kind of reminded us of being in Jamaica, because we used to play the same games and, do the same activities we did in Jamaica, like the races, the relay races, and
Egg and spoon.
yes, and what is the one where jumping at the crocus
The crocus bag,
yeah,
right?
that one.
Yes.
At one point, so a couple years, a few years, we used to do the Chinese skip and all of them things that we don't do. Like, I don't see that here, and so that was one of my biggest, memories growing up. We looked forward to it, the food and the people. It was just, we knew it was going to be a day where we was just going to have fun with our people.
Right.
And not just our people, because other people came, other cultures came around, and, it got bigger and bigger every year. It just was something that we all look forward to. I want us to get back to that.
Well, there's always opportunities to work to get back to that.
Yeah,
you know that there is.
Yes, I wanted to get back to that. I want that for my kids, and all of us that's older now, our kids growing up. I want them to experience that. Especially since half of them or all of them didn't grow up in Jamaica. I want them to experience what we experienced as kids in Jamaica. We didn't have all these tablets and phones, and we have like a TV or whatever, but it's not the same. Like,
Right.
we used to go outside. The TV was after we come in and we bed and we eat for dinner. We will watch my little TV for 30 minutes, then we'll go out bed. It's not like that now. I want my kids to be able to experience that I went through. I used to get in trouble at evening time. I used to stay back at school and play dandy shandy and them things. That I want my kids to be able to do that.
You gotta go back to Jamaica, girl.
So I want to bring some of that though.
Back, right.
Yeah. I was even just talking to one of the other players for Cavaliers, and we was talking about planning something like that.
Oh, good.
Like we was gonna call it fun day. We was gonna
A
split
sports
up.
fun day.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we was gonna split up
Yeah.
different color. We used to have the blue O's and yellow O's, and we was gonna do that. And
Yes,
we,
a sports day
yes,
vibe.
we talked about that. We
Mhm.
just
That'd be
last
nice.
week we just talked about that. So
Nice.
That would be nice.
I'm hoping that we can make that happen.
Yeah, and you guys have lots of opportunities too that you can do it after a game. It's one of your settings after a game or something, or it's a
Yeah.
fundraiser.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
was thinking about making it like a weekend thing. You know,
Yeah.
like Friday was like a chill. Saturday we do the whole fun day thing. Sunday football game.
Nice.
You know, have
Nice.
meetings and you know we have people come and them sign up and put all of their name in like a random assigner, and that's how we decide what house you in, like the color house and
Yeah.
things. And we want to be
Just
fair. We don't want nobody to feel
grammar
like
school.
say,
Oh, the interviewer
Yeah.
the videotape
Sorry.
of getting on the interview, yeah.
the idea nice her too.
A sweet me.
Yeah,
My
but
bad.
you know, and then we want to add like the kite flying contest, and just make it have different aspects to it, and it's just gonna be a day of fun for all ages. We want everybody to come out and enjoy it. And
Nice.
if it's something that you don't want to participate in the activities, but to come out
Just
and
show up.
watch the
Yeah.
activities and eat some food and drink like a drinks with we or something. You know, just a day of fun. We bring us back to how it was in Jamaica. We used to look forward to that in Jamaica, you know?
But you know the interesting thing, what are the you talked about the Caribbean communities, picnic being one of the things that you remember the most. What highlights that event being so much more is the introduction of the other Caribbean countries that are there, like Haiti is there, Belize is there, St. Kitts and Nevis is there, and you get to try everybody's food. You go to everybody's tent and try everybody's
Yes.
food, and then everybody plays football together, or
Exactly.
all the kids, get
Come
together and
together.
play and listen to the
Exactly.
music and dance. So I know they continue to do that. It's being led by, I think they're still called the Caribbean Family Reunion Picnic. It's usually the last Saturday of June
Yes.
at Rouge Park.
Mm-hmm.
So, we can keep you guys abreast of when the planning for that has started if you want to get involved with the planning.
Yes.
And then also to help market it to get more Caribbean people out to support the event.
Because I think we only get called for Cavaliers to be a part of the soccer
The
game.
football,
We wanna
you
do
have
more.
families too. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'll get you in touch
So,
with the people then. Trust
okay,
me.
okay.
All right.
Sounds
So
good.
for closing remarks, thank you again for coming
Yes.
and having this conversation with us. If you know of anybody that you think we should interview that can
Okay.
give us a different perspective or even the same perspective, just to highlight what they think of the Caribbean community here in Michigan and how we can create legacy through community service. It has been a pleasure having you, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. Thank you for having me. Thank you.